it's opening you up to it's like making you conscious of something that's always been happening, but we didn't realize it. You know what I mean? Like is this new, or am I just now becoming conscious that this is happening? You know what I mean? So, especially with like
Yeah.
synchronicities and stuff in your life, like you just start becoming more conscious of the universe giving you signs. Yes, yes, all of this,
Mm,
or no, fucking stop doing what you're doing
yes.
because this this isn't working for you. So,
Yeah, it's our day.
Michelle,
Hello.
how are you?
I've just woken up, but I'm very excited.
What time is it
It's
there?
8:30 a.m.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
you joined you did the monthly, right? How did this start? This rabbit
Yeah.
hole of
Well, it actually started through Rich Lopp on YouTube. Started watching his manifestation stuff and was really enjoying that.
yeah,
And then he's had a video about reconnected healing, and I don't know, I just felt really drawn to it. And then I actually looked at your website, and decided, that just giving a like I get like a donation and trying it was a great way
yeah,
to
that's a perfect way to
dip
dip
my
your
toe
toe in,
in.
and yeah,
And then I had that instant crazy experience, which like was, I mean, it kind of moved me from sort of an
If I hadn't
agnostic,
had
like
the experience
definitely
I've had with the
open-minded about
frequencies, I probably
there's
would have thought
something and
that
the's a
this
Mhm.
source,
whole
but
thing
not
sounded like
really, like
BS,
I was
like
Yes,
when you're
really
saying
drawn to all
the
that
yes,
ley
stuff, but
lines and all
not
that. And I'm
really
like,
yeah,
I
labeling
don't
it or
even
being
need the head
convinced to
thing.
being
Like, I
like,
don't know
yeah,
what
yeah,
is
whoa, there's
happening.
totally.
definitely
Yeah,
But
there's
something.
I
Like,
something.
probably
This
that
is
sounds
real. Yeah,
completely
I don't know
this is
what
crazy or
happened.
real.
something.
No,
However,
I think
Yeah,
you're
I'm
I've had
so,
this
skipping.
and then I,
experience and
sent you
I
that
want
email because I was
more.
like,
Like,
what is
I
this?
feel
And
so
yeah,
like
I've been doing
it's just
like, and yeah, it's almost
because it did
even
scare me a bit actually. It was
beyond
so
the
like the
intellect,
physical
whatever this
sensations
is,
were
was so intense. And when I
Yeah,
couldn't switch them off that day. And then since then, I've been joining the daily sessions. I've sometimes done a self session.
nice.
Something really cool just happened this morning. Actually, I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night, and like have a form of insomnia, and then it takes a while to get back to sleep. And I was on my phone, and I started feeling all this prickling in my hand, and I was like, I wonder if there's a session happening now. And I looked, and it was 5 minutes
Oh,
into your
was it
daily
really?
session. It was like 3:30 a.m. or something for me.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm
Wow.
like, oh, okay, I'll join the session. And then I
Yeah.
lay
Beautiful.
down. That This is crazy. This is crazy.
It is crazy. I've been down these like this, like what's happening on the planet with this shift into fourth density and how our DNA was messed with, and now it's coming back online. And so I've been so focused on that. Actually, it was this video with this lady. She had like 4.4 million subscribers. She made a video and she said, if you could say one thing to 4.4 million people, what would it be? And I started watching it.
Hello, I'm Carla Flecha and I'm from Puerto Rico. And my message to you is to be kind with yourself. Remember that every single day is an opportunity to change your circumstances. You are not alone. Don't give up.
Hello everyone, my name is Luke. I'm 16 years old and I live in a farm in South Africa. I just wanted to say that every single one of us are unique, and I think the key to finding happiness is just to embrace what makes you unique and what makes you different.
What would I say to 4 million people? Be kind.
Dude, like in 7 minutes, like that's all you have to understand on life. It had no deep esoteric thing going on. And I was like, it was just refreshing for me. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that because I think I haven't really gone down that rabbit hole a lot yet. And some of that stuff is like, it's almost for me a little too woo woo at this point. I
Oh,
don't know if
it's
I'll get there. But even looking at this, doing this with you, I think about, I don't know that if I hadn't had the experience I've had with the frequencies, I probably would have thought that this whole thing sounded like BS, like when
yes,
you're saying the
yes,
ley lines and all that. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't I don't even need the head thing. Like, I don't know what any of that means.
Totally.
Like, I would probably think that sounds completely crazy or something.
No,
However,
I think you're
I've had this
skipping.
experience and I want more. Like, I feel so like it's just like, and yeah, it's almost even beyond the intellect, whatever this is. Like, if I try, I'm not even trying to figure it out at this point. I just want to
Yep.
experience it because I
Yep.
know that it's just really cool, whatever this is I'm
Yeah.
experiencing. And it's hard to even put into words. And I don't know what's going to happen today.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
trying to
either.
go
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm trying to go in like the first time I came in with not really any expectations. You know, I just laid down and then
Yeah.
like, you know, something happened, something really
Yeah.
like life changing already, even though
Yeah.
so I'm pretty early. I mean, I think I joined the session with you on the monthly on the 18th of December. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty new to
Well,
this.
no, here's the thing. Here's what I was getting at is like after going down and learning all this stuff, it's like now I'm where you are. So you skipped it all. You know what I mean? Like you don't even need to like, and it goes back to that video. You don't need to know any of this stuff.
Yeah,
It's common sense.
that's cool. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like it's so yeah, no need to change. You're right on. You're right where you need to be. you're where I'm trying to get back to. I'm trying to remove all of my I'm trying to remove all the science and the ancient beliefs that validate that, yeah, this is cool. What is this? Oh, I feel this is amazing. So yeah.
Well, actually, that's something I think also, because I did watch some of your YouTube videos, I think, before I tried, and you seem so, I mean, I don't know you personally, but you don't seem like the typical like guru guy or the, you know, like off with the fairies kind of guy.
No,
And that was appealing to me because I was like, okay, like that was in a weird way reassuring that like, because there's a lot of obviously snake oil salesmen out there and stuff like that. And
totally.
and I feel the same. Well, I guess I related to that. Like, I hang around these kind of edges of these spiritual circles, but I'm kind of also a bit wary of a lot of the doctrine and the religiosity and all of that stuff. And so,
totally.
yeah, that I mean, even for me, you know, I'm talking about this with only one person in my life that I'm close to,
pretty common.
and he's very rational, and I think he's so intrigued, but he said, I wouldn't believe this if it wasn't coming from you. Like, if it was coming from, I just think, oh, this is a crazy person.
That's what my friends used to say to me. Literally, they go, you know, for some reason, I believe you. Like anybody else, I'd be like, what?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, you are right. Because I find what I do and what I believe in this niche of woo-woo. And and I totally like respect what everybody's doing, and like, you know, cool, do your thing, you have your own flavor. I also have this feeling like I don't want to join any group that would have me as a member. What do you do for a living?
Well, currently I actually am in this whole what am I going to do next like phase, because I've actually come to Australia. Well, I've been here nearly I'm basically here for probably 5 months total. So I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm in this whole, I've actually started putting out to the universe, like I'm starting to ask since this actually, like, what am I here for? What is my purpose? Because I don't think it's to be a desk monkey or to, like, I've always had this deeper feeling of like I'm meant to do something, but I can't find it. I don't know what it is. Like everything's felt like I think, oh, you know, I'll do that career path. Like I've kind of tried different things because it always felt it didn't feel meaningful enough or something. Like I definitely want to contribute something, and I've always had that, but I don't know. I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to be asking, what am I meant to, like, I feel like there's something of what I'm meant to do, but I don't know.
Get an answer.
Yeah.
After I discovered this for myself and went through that, you know, like life altering, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is real. Like, you know,
Yes.
I seem to be pushed to do some kind of like service to help. It's just interesting how my life has shifted since these frequencies found me, basically. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the time, and maybe you have a video on it, but I'm definitely would love to also know how you came across this. Or what your story is with it.
I was just consumed with this idea that we were all connected, and that like literally we're connected in this field of consciousness. And so it started with the science, you know what I mean? Like I was fascinated with all the science, and that science actually used to believe that we were all connected. They called it the ether.
Yeah, like quantum physics and stuff.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that?
Like that's what I was drawn to. Like I quit reading, like, fiction, and I just started like fiction. Like I just became consumed with educating myself in how powerful we are, and this game we're playing down here, and how our thoughts are leaving our body, stuff like that, the typical manifestation types of stuff.
Yes.
And then it just kind of like veered over one day, and I watched this video, and I saw this video, and I was like, dude, I gotta buy this guy's book. And then I bought his book, and I read like 2 chapters of the book. I wasn't even like into the book. I don't even know what the hell the book was, but my hands like turned into magnets, and I was like, oh my God, dude, I can feel this.
Was that Eric Pearl's book?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Wow.
And it was
Wow.
so like, now actually going back, it wasn't super strong, but it was there. And I was like, wow, this is new. And now it's different. It's, it just like, it's just different now. And it's different because as soon as I discovered it for myself, I remember I would put out in the universe, I want to channel this frequency as pure as anybody on the planet. It triggered something in me. It's like, I want to fucking be badass at this. You know what I mean? Like I really want to be a pure channel for this.
Wow.
So
actually, a couple of things with what you said. Thanks for sharing that, because that's I didn't know your journey at all. I did notice, I was on your website the other day to look at what you said about the quantum calibration and the personal reconnection, it's pretty similar stuff you say.
Mhm.
And I saw you had like some, I think you have a recommended list or some resources, like some books that you suggest. And weirdly, I realized that over the years, I've read most of those books. There's obviously something, the conversations with God and I mean, I guess if you get into those circles, but I realized in that moment, wow, I've been drawn to this
You've
for
been
a
on
long,
this
long
path the
time,
whole time.
actually.
Yeah, you didn't
like the
even-
Ask and It Is Given, I've read, and so there was something that I was drawn to. Like a while back. And actually, a cool anecdote I have about this whole thing too is, I was in Italy just before I came back to Australia, and I went back to Rome and hadn't been for like 20 years. Went to like the Sistine Chapel, which has Michelangelo's like that creation scene with like God and Adam, and
when
it was really powerful. And put this prayer out. I mean, I don't even believe, by the way, I don't believe in the Catholic God, just putting it out there. But I felt like there was something really spiritual or holy. And I thought, wow, this probably is the place to pray. It's like if you're going to pray to that God.
Do it. Yeah.
And I put a prayer out there, like if there's something that can heal the things in me that are unhealed, and like, I have quite a complex history with my childhood and things that I've still struggled to overcome. I please guide me to it or whatever. And when I found this through you, and then I went and looked at Eric Pearl's Reconnection, on the front of that book is
it's pretty trippy.
I was like, whoa. And I only remembered then that I made that prayer in the Sistine Chapel. I was like, that's weird. Coincidence, but synchronicity, I think. And
really cool.
That blew me away. Such a small thing. I was like, because I'd already had that experience by then, by the way. So I was like, like with your monthly session. So I was like, whoa, that's weird. Like,
it's trip.
So that was a little trippy sort of synchronicity to do with this too.
Oh, you're at the right place for sure. Yeah. It's especially someone that like, you know what I'm talking about when you're like, in retrospect, you know, in like 3 years from now, somebody's gonna say, how did this all start? and you will remember the little breadcrumbs that just started you on your new path. And
yeah, wow. I'm excited for sure. Yeah.
So do you play with the frequencies every day?
It hasn't been every day. I generally just try and join, like, I'm still joining in the daily sessions. I find that they are a little bit more powerful. I do them long, like I tend to go longer than the 15 minutes. So but then I am finding I'm more drawn to it. Like I'm doing more self sessions where I just kind of lie down and connect in. And they're always different. It's funny. It's like either the prickles or the, like, now I've started getting this swirling energy feeling or like.
No, they are different. I will say that usually the personal sessions are much stronger than the group sessions. I don't want to say that before your session because like put up but I mean, I would say so.
Well, I did watch I think it was one of the maiden voyages you did with that, I don't remember her name, but that lovely British woman that you've got, Libby. Yes, and she looked like she'd been put through the ringer in a good way at the end of the
there was like I've just had about 20 separate transcendental experiences, all of which are probably life-changing in their own right.
It's interesting you said that because I had a session yesterday, and I was videotaping the session, but for some reason, like I wasn't going to like post the session, but for some reason I was like, I put my phone up and I recorded like 15 seconds of the session because it was sometimes it's just so crazy, just what I see. You know what I mean? Like it's and so I was driving to the store with my daughter, and they were like, somehow I thought, how were your session? And they never ask how my session is, like, ever. I go, my last one was pretty crazy. And so I break out my phone. I go, this is my last session. And I'm her dad. You know what I mean? Like she grew up. She literally grew up with this. Like when she was sick, she could give sessions as strong as I could, for sure.
Oh wow!
Yeah, totally. But now she didn't have any time for it. She didn't, like, she's a teenager, dude. She's
busy being a kid.
She's busy being a kid. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't which is beautiful because that's the way you're supposed to do, man. But anyway, when I showed her the session, she was like, yeah. And I was like, what? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. It just freaks me out. And it freaks her out. And she knows who I am. You know what I mean? She knows, you know what I mean? Like she goes, it just freaks me out. And I was like, what do you mean it freaks you out? She goes, I just don't, I mean, like, I don't look. Like, how does that not freak you out? It doesn't freak me out because I see it all the time.
Yeah, you see.
So, and I was like, I should probably stop posting like those videos where because most people don't do that. Most people they just lay there and like, I've never moved. My daughter doesn't move. My wife doesn't move. None of my kids move. You know what I mean? Like, but you can feel it. But so it was just interesting that my daughter, who knows me, like she's been homeschooled. Like I work at home.
Yes.
I've been around her every second of her life.
And even she's like, whoa, keep that freaky shit away from me.
I don't know. That shit's like, so it's very interesting. But when you're actually doing it, it feels sacred. You know what I mean? Like it
Mm.
doesn't feel freaky. It just feels like
Mm.
sacred. But yeah. So
Well,
I go ahead.
oh, sorry, you go.
No, I'm done.
Well, I'm curious to see then, because I definitely have been getting, and I had had this before, I realized with a couple other energy things. This did bring together, like, I realized I'd had a couple of these experiences with energy, but not enough to really, they all came together in this and was like more powerful. But I do get some body jerks, and I also, I noticed my head was just randomly moving the other day. Like,
Yeah.
I've had a few weird body movements, I guess. So who knows what's going to
Yeah, who
happen
knows? We'll
today.
see. We will see. It's funny. You might not feel anything. That's the
Yeah,
like that is the
that would actually
crazy.
be funny.
That is the crazy part of what? Because like the session I had yesterday with that lady, I had a session right before her. And to me, it feels exactly the same. And when we got done, I was like, so did you have any sensations? And she's like, no, actually, I didn't feel anything. And I guess 12 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I did something wrong. Like, oh,
Mm,
I don't think that anyway anymore. I know that it doesn't really matter what you feel. It's how your
yeah.
life changes. You know, like that's all.
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
your life does not change, and say you're in a terrible, hostile relationship and a terrible job, and you're just like life is not going well. Who cares if you levitated off the table?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that doesn't mean shit, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
So what does your
Yeah.
husband or boyfriend think about this?
Well, he's who I've been sharing with, and yeah, he is like very much sort of scientific. Is in even in a
Yeah.
like quite a high job in the scientific field. Very rational, very logical, and but he has actually like he's open to like joining a session, like
Sure.
like trying one of the group sessions, or so
Sure.
I'm actually blown away even by that. It's not that
Yeah,
he's not at
beautiful.
all open minded, he
Yeah.
definitely is, but I've probably been the I jokingly call myself like I've got the hippie Lala part of me
Yeah.
that's kind of been
Yeah.
drawn to what I mean? Like
I
I've kind of got that part in me.
we all
And
need
yeah,
more of that.
so he's actually the only person I've chosen to share this with, because
Perfect.
even my friend who's into Reiki and all this stuff, I don't even know how to. It's almost like I don't even know what it is yet
Yeah.
myself, and I realized
Join the club.
I'm kind of yeah. Well, it sounds like maybe that's where I'm going to stay or come back to anyway.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I'm kind of I love what you're saying. That's where I'm at. I don't even need to know really, because I can be I can intellectualize everything, and I
Yeah.
figured out at some point. Sometimes that's not a good thing, it's
Yeah.
just better to experience. And I love that you say that, that life. Some people say that life just gets easier when they've done the reconnection, or they've played
I,
with these frequencies, and I love the sound of that, just the
I,
things to get more ease.
yeah. I think the more it's just we get out of our way. The way I started looking at it is people are always talking about the flow of your life,
Mm.
and there's this ease to being in the flow. I just think that we've been programmed with so many beliefs, and every belief we have is like an anchor. And so we're like anchoring ourselves into this river that's flowing. And I think that, as we go through this process, we just let go of those beliefs because they don't feel right anymore. And so you kind of just get out of your way.
It's like stuff falls away or something, like you don't even consciously.
They
Do you
just
think
don't
it's not
make
even such a
sense.
conscious process?
Yeah, it's just like, that's stupid. Like, why would I ever think that? And then you'll
Okay.
probably recognize how you got that. And, it could be like some type of traumatic experience in your past. And, most people would tell you that you have to heal that, and you have to go back, and you got to do shadow work, and you got to go back, and you got to heal. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that can just be ignored, but I'm saying, dude, this time just let go. Like, quit trying to fix yourself, dude. You're perfect.
Yeah.
And once you realize that everything in your life has happened for a reason, and you're perfect the way you are, then those tragedies can just go into the fog, and you stay in the present. And
Wow.
when you're in the present, fuck that. Like, that shit's gone. Now, if you want to go to a
Yes.
psychologist and bring it up every week, then
Yes.
good luck, because that thing is not going to go in the fog. It's going to stay right there, and you're
Yeah.
always going to be like, so.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's how it makes people easy. I think there's the ease in that is people. It's just letting go. It's letting go
Wow.
of what is, slowing us down.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Yeah.
that's not avoiding it. That's not being like, oh, that never happened. It's like, no, that happened. But like, whatever, man. Like, that was 18 years ago. Like, I ain't got time for that shit now. I'm in the present. Like,
Yeah. Wow.
at least
Wow.
that's what I think. That's the way
That sounds amazing. An amazing place to live from, because
it is an amazing.
we all
place.
know it on, like, especially in these communities, it's always about the present moment and everything. But yeah, that past just crowds in
It
so
does.
much for all of us, I think, and we often project that onto the future as well. So yeah,
the way it really, I think the way it really happens is when you're in the present and you're thinking about the past, whatever that may be, then you're matching that frequency in the present, and whatever frequency you are in the present, you're attracting in the future. So when you go back in the past, you're attracting the same shit.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you let go of it, then you start attracting new things, because you're not vibrating at that.
Makes sense.
Dude, this is just physics, and we're all vibration.
That's funny you went that way, because I was thinking this is very Abraham Hicks. She said, like, she talks about you just keep beating the drum, the same story, the same, and like that, and then we keep attracting that, and you've got to change your point of attraction, like, and you've got to somehow get there. So that sounds really cool, because it sounds like you're living that out, and that's like, because that was my original entry years ago into this stuff, was the Abraham stuff.
Beautiful introduction.
Yeah, and I still go back and listen to that stuff sometimes, but living it is very different to listening to it.
Living it is everything.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
It's the only thing that matters.
It's like, this makes perfect sense. I'm going to just keep beating the drum of the same thing. It's hard to apply, but
I think
that sounds cool.
I think you become conscious that you're beating the drum. Wow, I'm thinking the same shit I thought yesterday and the day before, and you know what I mean. Then you're like, well, why? I don't want to think that anymore. I want to think something different. So and that's why I think it just gets easier, because like, things that were hidden come to the surface, and things that seem challenging to let go of, it just seems like common sense just to let go of them. You know what I mean? Just like, why would I keep thinking of something happened to me 25 years ago? Like that.
Yeah, it sounds like you get that awareness where you have like a space, because sometimes we're like the fish in the water. Well, often I think with a fish in the water, we don't, we're so caught up in what's normal, and getting that, I've noticed that too, that sometimes with more awareness, I get a bit of space where it's almost like that witness part, or that observer part goes, and then you can choose something different, or you can, you're not just on that automatic response mechanism path, of thought, action, feeling, or whatever, however it goes.
When your husband or boyfriend decides to participate, make sure you don't tell me. And then when it's done, and especially if he had the type of sensation, say, he didn't even know that you were participating. Because I don't know when anybody's participating. But see, there's something to a scientist, like, it's like a triple blind study. You know what I mean? Like there's double blind and then there's triple blind. Yeah. It'll give him something to think about, especially if he has, any type of sensation.
Well, that spun me out about it, that it wasn't a Zoom call. It wasn't just the whole, you just lie down.
Lay down, man. Universe knows why you're laying down. Universe knows why I'm giving attention. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
go figure.
Yeah, yeah, that all helped, I think, even for me. I was just like, well, like when you say it's a field, and I'm like, well, I tapped into something, so there's something, yeah. So
Totally.
no, it's really cool.
It
I'm
is.
glad I've come across this or been led to it or whatever's going on here, yeah.
I love how open you are to it, and like, because that's the key to life, is like, this feels, wow, interesting. I'm going to do this.
Well, honestly, I think that's what started me even being interested in energetic or law of attraction, because I had done a lot of the talking, the reading, the intellectualizing, and it only does, personally, in my experience, take you so far.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we have to go beyond the mind, I think, because I think, so I think that's just long before I arrived here. I realized that that's the way I get in my own way, is with my own. It's almost like when they say you're too smart for your own good.
Yes, exactly.
Like sometimes I was too smart for my own good.
Yeah, that's super relevant with the world we're living in today. And one of the things I've found is this is one of the ways that I changed, is if we didn't agree on something, I felt compelled to debate you and convince you that I was right. That was
been
really
there.
part of me, for like 40 years. And I had zero of that. Like, I don't care what you think. I'm serious. I have no desire to convince you of anything. And dude, there's a freedom when you have anything to prove, and you don't care about debate, and it's like, cool, whatever you want to believe, that's cool by me.
Wow. Yes.
That's a freedom that is priceless, I would say. Were you ready to do this?
Yeah.
You got any questions?
I guess I'm just curious, like, I'm assuming, is it about half an hour? Like what's, I mean, maybe it doesn't even matter, because honestly, with the time thing, often I think it's been longer than it has, or it's been way longer than I thought it was. I mean, maybe that doesn't matter, but I'm just curious, is there a set, like, I know I'm probably going to lie down similar to I would in a group session, and then
we're going to keep the video going.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to lay down, and if you can, it's not necessary, but if you can, like, maybe just point your camera just towards you, just so I can, like, just check in every 5-10 minutes. And it takes like, in person, they take like 30-33 minutes, but for some reason, these take like a little bit longer. Like, I find myself like kind of getting lost, like just like I'll just feel this section, like, there's certain energy points you have to shoot like these beams of light in.
Okay.
So I just imagine, I know, it sounds crazy. But I just imagine literally you're right there in front of me. And so I act like you're there, and I just start shooting these beams. But when I'm in person, I never like get lost. You know what I mean? Like I'm always like boom, boom, boom. But when I'm doing them to your light body, which that's what I consider, in my opinion, I just find myself like in one point, and I'll just stay there. And I'm like, oh shit, dude, I've been here for like 3 times too long.
I meant to be doing something, yeah.
and then I'll go back to finish them. But yeah, so it seems like these take longer for some reason. Like I
don't have any time restrictions or anything. That's not an issue, but just curious more than anything. But I have found time already gets very distorted, with this thing for me too. So that's, it almost doesn't really matter in a weird way.
When you go down these rabbit holes of these ancient beliefs and these esoteric beliefs, you'll hear very frequently that time is an illusion. And then it's this, we've created this, we've slowed down manifestation to such a point that we can actually experience time. And then you'll hear that everything is happening at once. So
yes,
like
I've heard that one too.
every life that you've ever had is happening right now at like a different layer of the onion, or you know what I mean? Like different frequencies. Like, you know, when you hear that, you're like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to use that in my life. Like, but like, okay, I'll buy into that. But with doing this work, I've seen it happen. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen things happen that are just like out of time, that they happen, they function outside of time.
Whoa.
But one thing that happened real quick. So I had this monthly tune-up, and I must have been in a rush to set it up, but I set it up New York time. But I'm in Colorado, so that's 2 hours difference. Okay. So I know I got a session, so I'm up, and it's like I know exactly what time it is. Like 7:32. I know when, because I'm sitting there and I'm like drinking a coffee and I'm like just checking some stuff, and I see this email come through, and it says, "That was the strongest session I've ever had with you. Oh my God." And I was like, huh, interesting. And then like another minute or two went by, another email, boom, dude, that was like, whatever their experience, I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah.
But I had like 3 emails in like 4 minutes. I was like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah.
So then I go and check, and I realized that everybody thought the session was at 7.
Yeah.
Because I had posted it wrong. So earlier, I would have freaked out. I'd be like, oh my God, dude, I can't believe I did this. I totally dropped the ball. But because I traveled helping people learn how to do this, and I had seen this happen so many times. When it came 9 o'clock, I went and I did the strongest session I could possibly give. I was completely present for the whole time. And I know that's what they received.
Oh my gosh, that is freaky.
I'm serious. Like, and I know that it's hard to understand, but
this is definitely beyond my understanding at this point. But I'm open. I'm definitely open, because I've realized, like, I don't know anything really. I mean,
I don't either, like, actually. So we're on the same page.
Yeah. But it's funny, right? Because I think it says, I mean, even in the Bible, it says about how, like, you should come as a little child, and there's a lot of stuff about that childlike mentality, and maybe that's what we're actually talking about. Like,
that's exactly
the more you know, the less you know, and then you get out of your own way. You have it's more simple. It's more like. Yeah, so I think it's cool. It's cool. I think maybe we are exactly in the right place, to be like, I don't know anything, and you're like 12 years
and I feel free.
I don't know anything.
I've never felt more free than knowing nothing. Like, beautiful. Can I get like 5 minutes?
That would be good, because I might quickly use the bathroom, and
I'm gonna go back and check in on somebody. So
okay, good. All right, 5 minutes.
I'm back.
Yes, we're back.
Cool.
So, just out of curiosity, it probably doesn't matter for the whole field thing, and it seems like the Wi-Fi has been really good, but if it dropped out,
we're not going to cut out. Yeah,
okay.
No, we're good. Our connection is better than your Wi-Fi. Trust me. So if we do cut out, I will call you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. All right. So should I just put you on the side then, and we'll get started? Okay. Okay.
Okay. I hope you have a good session.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Okay, first session's complete.
That scared me. Oh, far out. Wow. Oh, that end part was intense. Like,
Was it?
I was having so much movement, like way more than I normally have
So
at the end, especially.
you noticed the difference between the group sessions and the personal session?
Oh, definitely, actually. I mean, oh, gosh, like, how I don't know, that was, yeah, I mean, it started like really quickly, quite intense, almost waves of energy. Like, I even felt it like move up through my face and stuff. It was really like yeah, but it was just more intense for sure. Like, definitely, like towards the end there, I felt like my body was all over the place, you know, like a lot more movement than I would normally have. So
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're
yeah.
halfway done. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Did you so what did you experience? What type of sensations did you have?
Yeah, like in the group sessions, I often get more like that tingly sort of sparky feeling. I didn't get that so much. It was much more sort of like that swirling or flowing energy feelings. Like I don't know. I feel like it's hard to, you know, like I'm just like, what just happened?
Yeah,
Like
I know.
I've lost
You have this
complete
crazy
sense of
experience and like,
time.
okay, so what happened to you? Like, tell
Yeah.
me. And the funny thing
I
is,
feel like I'm
if we stopped right now and you laid back down, it would start back up. Like that's the kind of thing that always like
yeah.
it's so big for me to grasp. It's like,
Yeah.
but I'm done, and she's still doing.
That's why when you came in and were like, okay, and like you didn't even do it in an aggressive way, but I was so deep in the like experience that I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, what's that? Like
Yeah, totally. That's why I quit talking to people afterwards. Not on the quantum calibration, but as far as a session goes, you know, I'm always like, I think it's best if I just like click off and then you just continue on.
yeah. I mean, I mentioned that I did notice throughout the session I had some of the like I kind of have these kind of like body jerks here and there, but that was really getting intense at the end there. I've never had anything at that level. That it felt like it just kept going, and it's almost felt like my body was moving in these like like just different ways than I've had before. So
you should be able to feel this frequency stronger when we're done, for sure, in your hand. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I noticed right off the bat, like your eyes started flickering. I was like, okay, man, we're locked in.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. Actually, that was more in like that was pretty intense from the get-go for sure. I felt that too. It almost felt like the energy moved up through my like you know in the movies when you see like it's like some alien thing under the skin like moving.
Yeah,
But
totally.
it felt like the energy, and then like I felt like my eyes were. That was interesting. I didn't think my eyes at first. I didn't realize my eyes were fluttering, and then you know I know you said that's a. And then at one point I was like, oh, it felt like in the group sessions even I started realizing sometimes it felt like really fast, like REM, but your eyes are closed.
It's hard
so you
to
obviously
feel.
don't.
It's hard to feel actually.
It's weird. Yeah, it's only when it got more intense, but then now I can feel it. But at first I didn't even realize that was happening.
Yeah. Now you're going to realize that it also starts happening like at different times. Like, I don't know if you meditate, but if you do meditate, you're going to start noticing, oh, wait, my eyes are twitching now when you know what I mean? Like that you'll start seeing these similarities.
Yeah, I think I did mention, like, I don't do a lot of meditation. I'm one of those people that can't sit still. I've tried every technique under the sun.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't, but I have noticed, like, for instance, I'll sometimes put on, like, a Reiki video on YouTube on my laptop or something while I'm doing something else, and I can feel that prickly energy, like I'm
Yeah.
noticing in other things that are
Beautiful.
sort of energy modalities that I can feel it now.
It's opening you up to, it's like making you conscious of something that's always been happening, but we didn't realize it. You know what I mean? Like, is this new, or am I just now becoming conscious that this is happening? You know what I mean? So, especially with like
Yeah.
synchronicities and stuff in your life, like you just start becoming more conscious of the universe giving you signs. Yes, all of this, or no, fucking stop doing what you're doing
Yes.
because this isn't working for you. So, yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny because, like, I realized when you explained to me what you were going to do, you know, that I guess in person, you actually, is it always the light body you work with? Because I realized I have no idea what the light body even is. I don't know if I need to.
Yeah, no, you don't.
But that's
Obviously, you
another
don't.
one of those
Yeah.
things that I'm like,
And
I
do
don't
I
know.
really know what the light body is? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But that's the way I approach, like, in my opinion, I don't really say it on my website, but in my opinion, this quantum calibration is, I'm doing the same exact thing as I would for a personal reconnection, but I'm
Okay.
doing it on your light body. And when I say light body, what I'm really meaning is I'm imagining you right in front of me, and I take the same amount of time, the same, like everything is the same. It's just like you were there. So that's, yeah. So, you know, I don't really see like this light body in front of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just, you know, I've done thousands upon thousands of sessions, so I know how big a body is and where it fits on that table. So I'm like, this is where her pelvic bowl is. This is where her thighs are. You know, this is where her shoulders would be. You know, so and
Actually, my feet were constantly moving. I was constantly doing this almost like
oh,
waving thing with my feet the whole.
no,
I
I
have had
couldn't
that
see 'em.
some. No, yeah. I just, when you said that, I do think I had more activity in my lower body, or maybe I just became more aware. Like,
Yeah.
but no, that was really cool. That was really cool. It was definitely more intense.
You
Yeah.
you were doing something interesting that I don't really remember seeing too much. So you had like those stomach crunches a little bit, you know, you do like those little,
Yeah.
but then something was happening in the chest area, like up here, and
Ah.
it was flexing, but your stomach wasn't. And I
Oh.
was like, how is that possible? Like, it was interesting because you can see when your stomach, you know, when you crunch, you know, you
Yeah.
can see it because I can see your shirt, you know, against
Yes.
the background. And then all of a sudden the chest started like popping, like in the stomach. Well, I was like, wow, that's,
Yeah, it felt like I like put like was yeah, I can feel that. I think I know what you're talking about. It feels like this sort of, yeah, it like I'm like getting pulled up
yeah,
by the heart section or something. I don't
exactly. It
know.
was like the
I know.
heart was like popping, but your
Wow.
shoulders weren't moving. And I was like, how is that even?
Oh,
Because usually, you know, your shoulders, like their shoulders will move, but your shoulders
yeah.
weren't and your stomach wasn't. It was just like the heart areas going boom. I was like, wow. Like, I don't know what's really going on over there because I don't have the greatest view, but it looks like
Yes.
something is definitely located around the heart area that is happening. So that was cool.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
Did-
Would you rather like have the session where you can see the whole like
It doesn't
physical?
matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Totally doesn't matter because, like, literally, in my world, you're there. So
Yeah.
actually,
Okay.
even looking at you is more of a distraction to me.
Yes.
But I do
Yeah.
like to have people up, but you know, so when I'm down at your feet, dude, I know exactly where your feet are. Like, there's your feet,
Yeah.
there's your ankle, you know what I mean? And I so it's funny that your feet were moving because I had no idea, but
Yeah, they were constantly, I think. I've had that pop up, I realize now, in a group session, but yeah, it felt like they were like constantly wagging back and forth.
Yeah,
You know, like
that's funny. Yeah, that's cool.
it's hard to describe, isn't it, when you say what
It's
happened? Because it's almost like you just it's only as we're talking, I'm like, oh yeah, and this happened and this
yeah.
happened, but
I
yeah.
when I was trained to, like, right now I would be asking you questions, very vague questions, and I would be typing up what you experienced or writing down what you experienced. And I did that for like 4 years. So I had this huge like catalog of people's responses to their sessions. And then one day I'm given this reconnection, and it was at one of these training seminars where I used to help them teach people how to do this. And I had already given like 2 sessions in the morning, and then we'd been working from like 8 to like 1, and then at 1:00 I had a session. So I already had 3 sessions and worked all day, and I had like 30 minutes for lunch.
Wow.
So we get done, and I'm like, okay, so did you experience anything? And she had this out of this world magical experience. She was talking to all these beings, and it was like this
Oh wow.
life-changing experience. And as she's telling me this, I'm not even looking at her. I'm just writing everything down. And then when she was done, I wasn't even really looking at, I'm starving to death. You know what I mean? Like, I need to go get lunch. So I'm writing everything down. And then I got done. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I went to go get some lunch. And then the next morning she came in and she was like, it felt weird that I just had this magical experience that changed my life. And I'm telling you about this, and you're not even looking at me, and you're writing everything down and like kind of detached. And it was that moment. I've never written anything down since that moment. I was like,
Wow.
I'm done. Like, why? I need to be present with the person. I don't need to be like, writing stuff down. Like, yeah, oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not helping them. So,
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like you're doing the reconnection, and it's like that's not connection at the end, you know.
Yeah, you totally.
I know it's a different thing you're doing, but the human to human connection, like, yeah, wow.
And the reason you ask people is because there is something to actually verbalizing it and realizing something happened. You know what I mean? Like, so it's almost like it's kind of like you with the first group session. You were like, something happened. Like, I can't define. So it helps people own it, but I just learned that it's not necessary. Like, me talking to you right now, even though we're having fun and like laughing and stuff, it's not going to help. It's not going to change what happened during the session.
Yeah.
Who cares if you saw the color purple? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you had a bird talking to you? Oh, like, oh, you had a 9-foot cricket in a purple robe that was talking to you? Oh, cool. Like, I know what that means. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. So, but
I mean, it has been helpful for me just to more remember what's like to kind of go, oh yeah, that did happen. Happen. But yeah, you're so right, because at the end of the day, that was a powerful experience. Whatever words you
what's
put
going to
it,
happen is going to happen, and plus, it's hard to articulate. It's like people say, when I'll be like this, I'll be like, oh my God, it is so thick. Like, oh my God, dude, it's and like, how's it feel? I'm like, okay, it feels like my hands are completely numb and some invisible giant is massaging them, but yet I have a hole in the middle of my palm. And you know what I mean? You can't describe it. So it's kind of like you describing to me what a strawberry tastes like. Dude, you'll never be able to describe what a strawberry tastes like to me.
Yes.
Unless I eat it. And then I'll know exactly what you're talking about. Because like, oh, strawberry, I've experienced it. Yeah.
This is why I'm so hoping. I just wish my partner could feel this so that he know. Like I like want him to have his experience because I'm trying to explain to him, but I'm like, I just want him. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. But
Yeah.
I would love if he could experience it because I think it would blow his mind as well if he had something even close to what I've experienced. So
Interesting enough, in the beginning, like for the first 9 years, I only gave personal sessions. Like that was it. You know, I had tons of people were like, hey man, can you give me and my girlfriend a session? Or can you give me and my husband a session? I was like, no. This is like one person. Like that's it, dude. If more than one, that dilute it, which is so stupid.
yeah.
And then now I do group sessions. But every time somebody asks me to do a session and have their partner lay down and participate, I tell them, I go, yeah, absolutely no problem. I'm going to concentrate on you, but they can totally down every single time the other person has a session. And sometimes it's even stronger than the person I'm giving a session to. So,
whoa.
Like, I remember Rich Slop, I gave his wife Leah a session, and Rich was like, hey man, you care if I like lay down by the couch while you give her a session? I'm like, yeah, sure, dude. And as soon as I said, okay, I'm done, I hear Rich Slop in the back going like, oh my, what the fuck, dude? Oh my God. His session was crazy strong, and Leah felt nothing. So like literally nothing. So
I think it's maybe what you said as well. Maybe some of us are more like, more susceptible to feeling as well.
It must be that way. It must be like
based on whether our journeys or
I have to believe that the effects will be individual for each person's life. So even though I firmly believe that even though someone does not feel this, they were drawn to it for a reason, and they will have that type of healing, awakening in their own life, in their own way,
Yes.
But clearly some people made an agreement to anchor this frequency onto the planet, and I'm simply reminding them of the contract that they signed up for. And you sound like one of these people that, and I'm not saying, when I say that, I don't mean that means that they're supposed to like be healers and have a massage table and that's all they do. But I'm saying they're radiating this frequency to everybody they meet. You know what I mean? Like they're doing it without the table, like just their being and them following their path of their passion. I think when you follow your passion, you radiate it more. I really do.
Yeah.
I think there's something to, as we heal, as we follow our joy, we're able to reach more people and to do more. It's funny you say that, and it's like, of course, like it's totally common sense. Like I'm starting to realize that everything I say is just total common sense. Like there's no wisdom coming out of me. It's just like total common sense stuff.
Well, although I have, they do say like these days common sense is not that common. So
that is true.
It's kind of like maybe it is actually very wise, because there is a lot of this stuff was from ancient texts, and they kind of all say the same thing or along the same lines, but we have lost touch with a lot of that. So maybe this common sense is very much needed on the planet.
We have too much intellectualism and not enough wisdom. Like wisdom goes a long way, and intellectually, it's. But it's like I said, it's the less you know, the more freer you get. Man, like really, that's the way I feel. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So.
Yeah. as we've talked about this, actually, I have you heard of Rumi? He was like some Sufi poet or something, and there's a few weird things
Oh,
that
roommate. Yeah, of course. I
yeah,
thought you were
Rumi,
asking me
yeah.
if I had a roommate. Yeah,
Oh
no, I know
no,
who
no,
Rumi is.
no. And like he has a saying, he says like and I've thought of it a couple times when we're talking. I loved it actually. It's something like beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing. There's a
Yes.
field. I'll meet you there, and I always loved
Yes,
that.
meet me there.
It's almost,
That's
I think you can apply that, but all these ideas we have about everything and what to do
everything
and what not to do. But there's this like, it's like beyond all of that.
beyond it.
There's
Yes.
and I love it. And it's come to me a couple of times as we've been talking, that
Yeah.
expression. So
Yeah,
yeah.
beautiful. I love that. I love that quote by him. And there's also
Yeah.
Friedrich Nietzsche. He's a German philosopher in the late 1800s, I think. And he wrote a book that was called Beyond Good and Evil.
Oh, I've heard of it. I've never read it, but yeah.
Because I was at the time I was majoring in philosophy, and I was a big like Nietzsche guy. And I swear, as I read that, I really felt like I was comprehending it like I had wrote it. And,
Wow.
and really, like when you see the world beyond good and evil, you lose your perspective, because you see everybody's perspective. No perspective is right. It's just you, and you can put yourself in their position. So it was really interesting when I was so deep into that, into philosophy and taking that I just didn't have a perspective on anything. Like I did, because the second I would start to articulate my perspective, I would see all the other perspectives, and I would see that I'm just like talking about not the truth, just like my little. And there was a freedom in that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I might have to look into that, because I've never been really drawn to him. I've thought he's quite like, isn't he a bit of the
You don't need to look into anything,
existentialist type? Like,
I'm serious.
like it's a bit dark for I wasn't really drawn to him naturally, but yeah.
No, I don't think you need to look into anything, man. Like, seriously, I'm not kidding. Just you know everything you need to know. And in fact, when you do find information that really resonates with you, it's only reminding you of what you already knew anyway. So it's just a matter of it's a matter of owning that internal knowing and trusting it. You know what I mean? Instead of letting this thing make a second guess everything.
Yeah.
You know what's best for you.
Yeah.
You do.
Gosh. Well, thanks for today.
You're welcome. Cool. Well,
cool.
I
feel really good after that. So I'm looking forward to my day and looking forward to tomorrow.
Sounds good.
It was great to chat. Well, have a good night then.
Okay, you too.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Surfing on a wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another Friday in paradise. So bring your A game, cause you know this party won't stop. We could never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime. You know I wanna share it with you. Macy's going boom.